everyone, it's Nicole here, the Harmonious Hippy. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is the second installment in our chakra series, so we are moving on up to the Sacral Chakra today. I am wearing orange. Orange is the color of the Sacral Chakra. Contrary to popular belief, the root chakra is not the chakra that relates to sexiness. That is the Sacral Chakra. So this chakra, I'm just gonna check my notes here, make sure I have everything written down for you guys. The Sacral Chakra is related to creativity, sexuality, and relationships. So this is the Sadasana chakra. And orange, like I said, each one, as I mentioned previously in the root chakra video, has its own chant. So the chant sound for the Sacral Chakra is VAM, V-A-M. And an unbalanced sacral chakra is going to look like urinary tract infections, lower back pain, impotency, issues with self-worth and self-worth around your sexuality, pleasure, and creativity. So it's pretty much going to cause a lot of issues in anything where you feel like you deserve, to feel fulfilled and to feel good, believing in yourself, that kind of thing. So we have our candle today. I grabbed an orange-ish candle. As I mentioned again in the root chakra video, we have another singing bowl today, and this is the one for the Sacral Chakra. I've grabbed some crystals as well. You're gonna notice with the crystals that I show you guys, there is sometimes some overlap. So for example, I've grabbed carnelian again. This is one of the ones that I mentioned for the root chakra. So there are some that are good for more than one chakra. So we've got carnelian today. We have our rainbow moonstone. I also grabbed a raw citrine, and this bad boy is peach moonstone. So a lot of people may know already that moonstone is related to feminine energy, and it's really good to have around your moon time if you're a woman and that kind of thing. So of course anything based in the womb region is also related to the Sacral Chakra as well. With men, it's going to be anything related to your sexual organs and that kind of thing as well. So I'm going to just plop these down over here. So the only thing that we're going to need today is one block. So if you can grab a block or like a heavy stack of books about the height of a block, that would be perfect. You can also grab any other props that you normally would use, like a blanket or something for under your knees. I like to come to sit on a block at the beginning. If you'd like to bring some pillows or something to sit on, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, today is also going to be similar to the root chakra, where we're still working in the lower body a lot. So it's not quite as leg heavy and as grounding as the root chakra practice was, but we are still going to be doing quite a bit of work with the core, the lower body, that kind of stuff. So just grab your block, maybe some water if you would like, grab your crystals, throw on some orange, and let's get started. Okay everyone, so just getting started as usual, seated in a comfortable position, perhaps cross-legged. I'm popping the one foot because my ankle, tail is ill this time. If you'd like to come to a block or a stack of pillows just to elevate the hips a little bit better so we can have that anterior tilt to the pelvis, please go ahead and do that. And we're just going to start off in a seated meditation here. As we are still working in the lower body and that kind of thing, I would invite you to have your palms face down for grounding. But it's not as important for this one as it is with the root chakra. So if you would like and you're really feeling drawn to having your palms face up, please go ahead and do that. So just coming to your comfortable seat, closing down the eyes, growing nice and tall, and just bringing your breath in and out through the nose. And as always, just immediately tuning into the breath, tuning into the body, and just getting a picture of where you're at today, where your body's at. Noticing if you have any sensation or discomfort anywhere in the body. And not getting stuck anywhere or dwelling too much on it, just observing that. And then carrying on, scanning through the body, just seeing what's happening in this moment. And also tuning in with your emotional self as well, noticing if you're feeling particularly tired, frustrated? How have you arrived at your mat today? Maybe it was a struggle for you to get here and you're feeling relieved that you're finally seated in meditation, or perhaps you're feeling a little rushed. And again, without judgment, just noticing where you're at. And just setting yourself a little intention for your practice today. Maybe your intention could be to slow down, to feel some gratitude. Perhaps your intention is just to balance your sacral chakra. That's, at the end of the day, the meaning of these videos. So anything you feel today, slowing down, getting movement. Just setting that intention for yourself right now. Perhaps your intention is just to take some time for yourself. All of these are the right answer. So we're going to take a couple of cleansing breaths before we get moving here. So taking a deep breath in through the nose and opening the mouth, sigh that out. We'll do that twice more. So deep breath through the nose. Exhale with sound. Last one, gathering up any last bits of tension or trepidation. Inhaling through the nose. And exhale, letting that go. We're going to come to some movement. So if you're sitting quite high up, I would suggest removing your props and just coming to sit flat on the ground. We're going to move into Sufi Grind here. So just beginning to make some circles. It can be as big or as small as you'd like. Just starting to get some movement in the hips and the spine. You can do this with your eyes closed or open, whatever feels safest for you. And if you'd like, you can start to really bring the neck and the shoulders into it. Ready, just switching directions, flowing with your breath, moving the body. And completing your last circle, just come into stillness. We're going to flip over into tabletop position. So if you have a prop that you would like to use under your knees, you can go ahead and grab that. And we're just gonna line up the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips, pressing the knuckles into the ground. We're gonna move into some cat-cows here. So just dropping the belly, lifting the head, perhaps inhaling deeply, letting the belly hang down. And then exhaling, curling the spine, tucking the tailbone in the chin, pressing the belly into the spine, squeezing out all of that air. Inhale, dropping the belly into your cow. And just beginning to flow with your own breath. The exhales, curling the spine and squeezing the air out. And your inhales, opening up the front and back bodies. And if you'd like to start to bring some more movement into this, you can begin to crunch the side body here and then curling up to the other side and dropping the belly. So making a bit of a circle here. The inhales will still be with the belly lowered at the center, and the exhales are when you reach the center with the spine curl. So I'm just doing a few of these circles, really articulating the spine, stretching the side body. And when you're ready, switching directions. Rotating in the neck. Moving the hips. And completing your last exhale. Just coming back to a neutral spine. We're gonna sit up onto our knees here and just come into a baby camel. So we're not really focusing on too much heart opening today, but this is just nice to really stretch across the upper body and get a little bit of motion in the spine as well. So bringing our hands to our lower back, you want the fingers pointing down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. You're gonna tuck your pelvis, core is engaged, and just beginning to think of you're going up and over a beach ball. This is just a baby camel, so we're not coming back very far. You can drop the head back. If this isn't comfortable, you can always keep the neck at neutral or tucking the chin. So just holding your baby camel here, pressing the hips forward, making sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. You want those peeling back. And then inhaling, coming back up and sitting down here. Now, you want to come to Thunderbolt Pose. I will attempt to show you this. I can't quite do this one with my ankle, but I'll give you guys the idea. So you do want to be sitting back on your ankles. If you would like to bring a block in between to sit on, you can go ahead and do that at whatever height you need. Ooh, that's very high. Haha! Hacked it. I can finally do it. So sitting in your Thunderbolt position, we are going to come into Reclined Thunderbolt, but do pay attention to your body throughout this. Maybe you just want to stay sitting like this. That's enough of a stretch in the front of the ankles for you. If you want to come to Reclined, you can remove your block. I'm going to pop a leg here, but you want to keep your feet in. And you can start to come down as if you're going to sit in between your legs, and then you can come down to your elbows. And if you can go further than that, you can lay all the way back, perhaps lifting your arms up overhead. Again, always just seeing what feels good for you. Relaxing back. Again, perhaps you're up here with me. We're still in Thunderbolt position. Just relaxing here. And if you're fully reclined, just slowly beginning to come back up, tucking the chin, coming up onto the elbows, pressing yourself up all the way. We're all going to come down off of our props here and opening the knees out wide, the toes come together, sinking back into your child's pose, pressing the arms out in front of you, relaxing down, the head comes to the mat, perhaps rocking side to side, removing any tension, connecting back with your breath. And starting to come back up. We're going to remove our props here and pressing into the hands. We're going to tuck the toes and begin to lift the hips into our downward facing dog. Just working this out with your body, whatever movement you need to take, perhaps pedaling the feet, maybe rocking the hips. Just bringing some movement into the body, making this pose comfortable. And we're just gonna wave our hips side to side here, wagging our tail, pressing into the knuckles of the hands so you're not sinking forward. You want to be pressing away from the ground, nice and strong, engaging in the core. We're going to do some spinal waves here. So beginning to bend the knees, we're going to start to tuck our chin to our chest, curl our spine forward as if we're coming to a high plank, bending the knees, pressing back, and straightening the legs. So you can move with your own breath here, just getting a few of these in to really work into the spine. So just flowing here. And then coming to your stillness, your downward dog. Inhaling, gazing up at the thumbs. And we're gonna walk up to the top of our mats. And then slowly bending into the knees, Rising up like a rag doll. The head's the last thing to come up. Rolling the shoulders up and back. We're gonna do willow tree pose here. So just starting to rotate in the legs, just letting the arms flow freely away from the body, perhaps tapping the body with the hands. I like to make sure I come up off my back heel of the foot I'm twisting away from, just to make sure I'm not torquing the knee. So just moving freely here. There's nothing rigid about this posture. You really want to just let your body flap about. I'm beginning to slow that down until you come to stillness again. And today we are going to be working with moon salutations. So we're going to be moving side to side here. So starting at the top of your mat, we're going to be stepping outwards with our right leg. So you want to come to the side that your right leg is going to be stepping in first. So we're going to do a few rounds of these here. Let me just make sure I can see my notes. All right, so we're going to do about 4 rounds of the moon salutations. So starting off in your Sadasana, mountain pose, nice and strong, rooting through the feet, pulling up through the floor. You want to pull that energy up the legs, pulling the knees up, tucking the tailbone. Core is slightly engaged, rolling the shoulders up and back, growing tall through the crown of the head, nice and sturdy here. We're going to inhale, sweep our arms up overhead, palms come to touch. Check in with your ribs. Notice if you immediately are in kind of sticking your belly out. Keep that nice and tucked in. We're going to inhale, grow tall. Exhale, side bend. Making sure that you're not immediately twisting down. You want to stay nice and open here. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center, and we're stepping out into our 5-pointed star, tipping the toes out. We're going to come into our goddess pose. So again, making sure that you're keeping the tailbone tucked, the core engaged. You don't want to be sticking your bum out. You almost want to think that you're sliding down a wall. So coming to cactus arms here, so sucking the shoulder blades together, almost as if you've got a pencil in between your shoulder blades. Checking in with the rib cage, is it sticking out? Suck that back in. Nice and open here, and sinking down into your goddess pose, tucking the tailbone, engagement in the core. Feeling the burn, pressing the knees open. And extending up, we're going to come into our triangle pose. So we're going to bring our left foot to parallel with the back of our mat, or the top of our mat, I guess, apologies. And we're going to twist our other toes open. So we want the heel of our right foot to be in line with the arch of our left foot. Nice and strong here, and we're going to extend over to the side as if someone's pulling your arm, and then dropping down. I like to bring my hands to my shin. You can also come to a block, and sweeping the arm open into your triangle pose, pulling up actively through the legs here, twisting the chest open. The gaze can be up at the thumb, or you can gaze down at the floor if that's more comfortable. Engagement in the core. Breathing here in and out through the nose. And dropping that hand down, we're going to twist our back foot in to about a 45-degree angle, and we're going to come into our pyramid pose here. So even your hips here, pull that right hip back in space. You can bring a tiny bend into your front knee if you'd like. We're going to inhale, grow nice and tall and long, and then exhaling, we're going to try and bring our chin to our shin. So pulling yourself down. If you'd like to bring blocks under your hands here, you can do that as well. Trying not to shrug into the ears, keeping that nice and long. And we're going to plant the hands and pop back up off that back toe, dropping the knee, untucking the toes. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead into our low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Sinking forward, we're going to pull our arms back, opening through the chest. A little back bend here. Breathe in. Exhale. Hands plant back down onto the floor. Here I am, forgetting what's next. Alrighty, there we go. We're back on track. We're going to pop those back toes, lift that knee up, and begin to rotate ourselves around so that we can come into our side squat here on the right side. So your heel may be down, your heel may be up, whatever works best for you, whatever is the most comfortable. Toe of the left foot is flexing up. If you can, bringing your hands up to heart center, balancing here, stretching out the inner groin, the inner thigh of that left leg. And then we're gonna start to crawl over, stopping at the center. We're gonna come into our Malasana, our Garland pose. So maybe you rock side to side to find exactly where that is. Pressing the knees open with your elbows. Breathing here. And then completing that transition, coming onto the other side. So the right toes are pointing up. Perhaps your heel is down. Maybe you can't quite get it down yet. That's fine. Hands maybe come to heart center. Breathing into that nice juicy stretch in the inner thigh and the groin. And then we're gonna rotate here into our high lunge. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, sweeping up into our low lunge, opening the arms, getting that little back bend, and exhaling, planting the hands. We're gonna tuck the toes, come up off that knee, step the foot in about to a 45-degree angle here, coming into our pyramid pose. So evening off the hips, pulling that left hip back in space so it's in line with the right. Inhale, grow nice and tall and long. Exhale, chin to shin. Perhaps come into 2 blocks here if you'd like. You can have a little bend in the front knee. Feeling that stretch in the hamstring. Breathing. And then stepping back with that back foot, opening the foot so it's parallel with the back of the mat. The front foot, the left foot stays facing forward, heel in line with the arch of the foot. We're gonna sweep the arms up here to set ourselves up, reaching over and releasing down into our triangle pose again, peeling the shoulders open, engaged in the core, gazing up at the thumb or down at the leg. Not too much pressure in this bottom hand. If you had to, you could lift it off and use the core to hold you. Not straining the neck, bending into that front knee. We're gonna sweep ourselves up, coming back into our star, toes come open. We're gonna come into our goddess pose again. So tucking that tailbone nice and engaged in the core, keeping the rib cage tucked in. Goddess arms here, and then bending the knees, coming nice and low, peeling the knees open. Feeling that burn. And stretching up into our star. We're gonna keep going in the direction that we were going. So stepping to the right, feet come together. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale center, exhale side bend. Inhale center, exhale hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Letting that go. We're gonna flow through that a couple more times, so I'll try to talk a little less so we can flow through a little quicker. So inhaling the arms up overhead, exhale into your side bend. Inhale center, exhale other side. Inhale center, exhale stepping out into your star, toes point out, lowering into your goddess pose, keeping the core engaged, nice and low here. Inhale, straightening up. We're going to twist the feet so the back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Front toes are pointing forward. We're going to start to lean over to the left side, dropping down, sweeping that arm open. Triangle pose, nice and strong here, taking your breath. Exhaling, twisting that close, stepping the back foot in slightly for your pyramid pose, leveling the hips. Exhaling, chin to shin. Stepping that back foot into your high lunge, dropping the knee, untucking the toes, Sweeping the arms up and back, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Planting the hands, twisting open into your side squat here. Hands can come to heart center, balancing here. Transitioning through your Garland pose, Malasana. Squeezing the pelvic floor. Nice and strong here. And then completing that transition to the other side. Perhaps hands are in heart center. Planting the hands and twisting the foot, dropping that back knee, coming into your low lunge, sweeping the arms up and open. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Planting the hands, tucking the toes and stepping up into your pyramid pose, leveling the hips. Twisting that back foot open to parallel, sweeping the arms up to set up. We're gonna start to draw ourselves over towards the right, releasing down and peeling the chest open, triangle pose. Nice and strong with the legs. Bending the knee, bringing ourselves back up to our star. Toes come open, bending down into our goddess pose, nice and strong in the core. Letting it burn. Straightening up, and we're gonna move to the right, to the left, I apologize. Stepping the feet together, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center, exhale, side. Inhale, center, exhale, heart center, take a breath. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Stepping out to your star, toes point out. Exhale into your goddess pose. Nice and deep bend in the knees here, nice and strong. Stretching up, we're gonna open our toes to the right side, extending over that right leg, dropping down, peeling open, triangle pose. Twisting down, stepping that back foot in slightly to our pyramid pose, taking a nice deep breath here, and shin to shin. Stepping that left foot back to our high plank, dropping the knees, apologies, high lunge. Untucking the toe, low lunge here, opening the chest. Planting the hands, twisting open to your side squat. Hands come to heart center. Sliding through the middle, coming into your Garland pose, Malasana. And completing the transition over to the opposite side in your side squat. Nice and balanced here. Rotating to the side, dropping that knee, untucking the toe, low lunge. Opening the chest, a little back bend here. Releasing the hands down, stepping that back foot in for your pyramid pose, leveling the hips. Stepping those feet out for our triangle pose, sweeping the arms up to set up. We're going to extend that left arm forward, drop the hand, sweep the chest open, gaze up at the thumb, nice and sturdy in the legs. Bending into that knee, sweeping the arms back up into our star, opening the toes. Here we go. Goddess pose, nice and deep. Letting that burn, engaging the core as your bum's sticking out. Stretching the arms up, going over to the right, stepping the feet together, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. Inhale, center. Exhale, heart center. Take a breath. One more, y'all. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side. Inhale, center. Exhale, stepping out to your star. Toes point out. Peeling the chest open, coming deep into your goddess pose. Holding that. Inhale, stretching up, opening the toes to the left side. We're going to pull ourselves over, releasing that hand, peeling the chest open, engagement in the core. Dropping that arm down, we're gonna twist the toes in, pyramid pose, leveling the hips. Stepping that toe back into your long lunge, dropping the knee, untucking the toes, low lunge, opening the chest, dropping the hands, tucking the toes. We're going to twist open to our side squat here. Coming through center, coming into your Garland pose, Malasana. And finishing on the other side, side squat. Placing the hands down, swiveling over to the other side, dropping the knee, untucking the toe. Low lunge, open the chest. Nice deep back bend here. Planting the hands, coming up off that back toe and stepping the foot in for your pyramid pose, leveling the hips. Twisting the feet open. We're gonna come up to set up. Extending that right arm forward, dropping down and peeling ourselves open. This is our last one, last triangle pose here. Bending that knee, sweeping the arms up, star pose. This is our last goddess pose. Make it your deepest one yet, dropping down, tucking the tailbone, engaging the core, feeling that burn. Breathing, straightening up, going towards the left. We're gonna step the feet together, arms come to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's all take a breath like that. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh. And wiggle that out. Whew. Yeah. Whew, I'm sweating. All right. My word. Coming into a balance pose. We're gonna come into eagle pose. So similar to our tree pose, we want to start to press all of our weight down into one foot. Perhaps you're able to lift the other foot, making sure you're not sinking in the hip. Nice and long, root down to rise up. So get nice and comfortable in that foot. Perhaps lifting the knee. Perhaps not. If you can, starting to twist your top leg around the bottom leg. Sitting down into that a little bit. Seeing how your balance is today, staring at a point that isn't moving. We're gonna come into our eagle arms now. So we're gonna bring our right arm under our left and try and bring the palms together. This can make the balance a little tricky as it kind of cuts off your visualization. But we're gonna start to really bend down into that pose. If you can sink the arms into the chin, balancing here, coming up, releasing the arms, knee comes up, release that down, shake that out. Ooh, it's a lot in the feet. These balance poses are really, really good for helping build the muscles in the feet, of which I have none. Okay, woo, next side. So rooting down into that foot, lifting the knee, perhaps twisting that foot around. We're gonna bring our left arm under our right this time, twisting the palms together and sinking into that. You will notice that you have better balance on one side than the other. And if you fall out, just slowly coming back in. Bending down, balancing here, slowly releasing up, the knee comes up, and drop that down, shake that out. Woo! Stepping the legs open. We want the toes to be a little bit in from the heels. And then tucking the tailbone, protracting the chin as if you've got paint on your chin and you're gonna paint the wall in front of you. We're gonna fold down, hands come to the floor or a block. Inhaling and exhaling, dropping down into your forward fold. Coming up halfway and planting the right hand under the face. We're going to bring the left hand to our lower back and start to peel our chest open to the side. Perhaps the gaze goes up, maybe the arm lifts up, twisting open like a triangle pose or a reverse triangle, similar to that. Exhale, releasing that down, planting the left hand under the face, pulling the right shoulder open, rotating to the other side. Perhaps the arm comes up. Exhaling, releasing that down, and folding here. If your head is close enough here and you would like to attempt a headstand, you may need to widen your stance slightly. And you can bring your forehead, or the crown of your head down to the mat. Pressing into your hands like you're in a little tripod, you can start to sink forward into your head. And just notice what it feels like to bring a lot of your weight into your head, lifting up onto your tippy toes. And at some point, your feet may just pop up off the ground. Slowly bringing your legs together, pressing into the head, squeezing the core, and then opening the legs nice and wide, releasing back down, taking a moment here before we inhale to our halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhaling halfway, we're going to come into our Malasana, Garland Pose. So starting to maybe rock back and forth here, finding where is comfortable, and releasing that down into your squat. Perhaps you can come to sit on a block if that's more comfortable for you. And then sitting down as gracefully as possible. Ooh, wiping that sweat. We're gonna come into our Paschimottanasana. So this is our seated forward fold. So extending the legs out in front of you, flexing the toes back. We're gonna inhale the arms up tall, and exhale, coming down over the legs, flat back for as long as you can. Then inhale, grow tall, and exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up. We're gonna bring the feet together in our butterfly pose here. So you can bring the feet as close to or as far away from you as you would like. We do wanna really be growing tall up through the hip joints, So sitting nice and tall, perhaps reaching for the ankles. And we're going to begin to curl the spine, tucking the chin, bringing our forehead down, and coming up. So rolling down a few times here, trying to articulate the spine as much as you can as you do these rolls. So slowly trying to move every bit of the spine as you come down. And then scooping back up. We're gonna reverse this now, so protracting the chin, coming forward, and then scooping back up nice and straight, sticking out the chin, coming forward, curling the spine back, nice and tall. Last one, extending the chin forward and curling back, coming back up nice and tall, and then just releasing forward, dropping the head, folding here, releasing the neck. Coming back up through center. We're going to extend the feet out wide. So perhaps adjusting yourself here, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Again, you want to be growing up nice and tall out of the hip joints here. We're going to turn our body towards one leg and just start to come down over that leg, stretching that side. Make sure you're keeping both sit bones on the ground. And then twisting open, the arm can reach up overhead. You want to keep the chest nice and open, so not closed off like this. You want to peel the chest open. Using the arm to bring you back to center, twisting over the other leg, releasing down, keeping both sit bones on the ground. And again, twisting the arm up and open, keeping the chest nice and open here. Inhaling back up to center, and we're gonna come forward. You can bring your block under the hands if you'd like. Trying to make sure that you keep the toes and the knees pointing up as you start to sink forward. Noticing if you're hunching in your shoulders, try and keep that nice and extended. And as you breathe in and out through the nose, you might be able to creep the hands forward a little bit more, but just notice where you feel you need to stop today. Maybe you can't stretch as far as you did yesterday. Maybe you stretch way farther. It doesn't matter. There's no end game for yoga. So just doing what feels right for you today in this moment. And slowly coming back up. We're gonna pull the legs in and lay down on our backs. Alrighty, knees are bent, the heels are coming in towards the bum. Maybe you can touch the heels with your fingertips. We're gonna scoop our shoulder blades under our backs, palms pressing into the ground, and we're gonna press into the ground, lifting up the tailbone, lifting up the pelvis, squeezing into the glutes here. Bridge pose, engaging in the legs, the lower back. Holding here. And then I like to come up onto my tippy toes and slowly roll down the spine. We're going to come into our figure four stretch. So whichever side you want to start with, extending that leg up, crossing the ankle over the knee. You want to make sure that you keep the toes flexed back towards the knee, and that's going to protect the knee joint. You can reach through and then relax the shoulders back towards the ground in your figure four stretch here. So pulling that foot in towards the face, while you press the knee open. Breathing here. Now we're going to keep the legs like this, and we're just going to drop the sole of the foot down towards the ground, coming into a twist. So you can gaze towards the opposite thumb, pressing that knee to point up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Inhaling the head back to center, followed by the legs. You can release that. Figure 4, rock side to side. Coming onto the other leg. So lifting that foot up tall, crossing the ankle over the knee, pressing that knee out, flexing the toes back. You're going to reach through and then relax the shoulders back towards the ground. Pulling that in, feeling that stretch in the glutes. And then keeping the legs, you're going to roll the sole of the foot down to the ground, twisting away, gazing at the opposing hand, pressing that knee up, breathing in this twist. Inhaling the head back to center, followed by the legs, releasing that figure 4, rocking side to side. We're going to grab our block, and we're going to set this up so that the block is under our sacrum. So we want to find, it's that part near your tailbone. If you feel under your bum right now, it's almost like a little flat spot that you can feel right at the sort of right after your lower back curve and right before your tailbone. It's right in there. So that's where we want to place the block. So it's not going to be up in our lower back, and we don't want it too far down so that it's hurting our tailbone. You want to be right in that sweet spot there. So try and find that spot for yourself. It's going to be a little bit lower than you think because it's not right at that crack in your lower back. You really don't want to be feeling a lot in your lower back for this. So press it down a little bit. That might feel a little bit better for you, almost so you feel like it's automatically tilting your pelvis up. And we're going to release the arms out and lifting the legs. And when you lift the legs, you might notice that you're in the wrong spot. I did just now, so I kind of just wiggled myself a little bit lower. So you really do want to feel the block pressing into the sacrum, but it makes it easier for you to lift your legs up and not have to use the muscles to hold them up. They sort of automatically start to sink forward to where they can be held in space. So this is a really nice pose to drain any lactic acid or anything, any swelling that's in the feet and the lower body. You can also just do this against a wall, but lifting the pelvis like this, placing the block under the sacrum really helps to tilt the pelvis, alleviate any pressure in the hips, and hopefully help with sort of straightening the lower back, depending on where the block is placed. If you feel that you have a huge curve in your lower back, then it might be a little bit too high. So just letting the legs release here. And when you're ready, just lowering the feet, pressing in and lifting the hips to remove the block. We're going to come into our happy baby here, so reaching for the outsides of the feet or the shins, just rocking side to side, perhaps straightening one leg and then the other. Pulling the knees in towards the armpits. Just getting out any last wiggles before we come into our final resting pose. And when you're ready, just extending the legs out long, letting the toes fall open, palms face up, coming into your Shavasana. If this is hard on your lower back, you can always bring pillows or blocks under the knees, or you can bring the feet out wide And let the knees fall in towards each other. Just coming into your comfortable pose, your Shavasana. Letting the body release down into the ground, absorbing the practice that we just did. Coming back into the breath, coming back into the body. Feeling supported and held by the earth. Sinking down, knowing that you are safe in this moment to just let go and relax. In stillness. Noticing if the mind begins to wander. Without judgment, just bringing it back to the breath. Flowing in and out. Give my freedom to be held in your captivity. I am ready for love, all of the joy and the pain, and all the time that it takes to be held in your good grace. Lately I've been thinking maybe you're not ready for me. Maybe you think I need to learn maturity. They say watch what you ask for, 'cause you might receive. And if you ask me tomorrow, I'll say the same thing. I am ready for love, here with an offering of my voice, my eyes, my soul, my mind. Tell me what is enough to prove I am ready for love. I am ready. Getting to deepen the breath. Allowing gentle movements to come into the fingers and the toes. Perhaps rolling the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, just bending into the knees.
over to your favorite side, coming to the fetal position, resting here for a moment. And when you're ready, just using your hands to press you up, coming into your comfortable cross-legged position. Palms face down on the knees, or perhaps placing one palm on your belly, the other on your chest. And just bringing your attention to the sacrum, that place just above your tailbone, or below the lower back, curve of the lower back. The lower belly, that space just beneath the belly button. And just visualizing a circle of orange light beginning to grow and shine from that space. Feeling this light filling your being with these ultimate possibilities for your greater good, for you expressing your creativity, your sexuality, being comfortable with whatever that may look like to you. Knowing that you are completely worthy of feeling pleasure and pride in your creativity and your emotions and your work. Just feeling that light shining from this point, the center. And if you'd like, you can chant with me. If not, you can just listen. And we're going to chant on Vam with the singing bowl. And as we do this, just really focusing all of your energy into that space, a place in your lower belly, your sacrum, seeing that orange light pulsating with energy. Inhaling. Bringing the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, or laying the palms flat on the chest, feeling the heart, bowing the head slightly, taking a moment to honor yourself for taking time out of your day to do something good for you, feeling gratitude towards your body for moving you through this practice today. Just returning to the intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. No judgment here whether you forgot that you'd set this intention. Maybe you didn't achieve what you had intended to, but perhaps you've achieved something else. Always feeling gratitude for everything that you are able to do in your day, regardless of what you think it might need to be. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. The divine light in me bows to the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. I hope you are enjoying these chakra practices so far. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment below. Let me know what you thought, or just say hi. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any notifications for the upcoming remaining chakras. I hope you guys were able to balance the sacral chakra a little bit more with this practice today. And I hope that you are feeling great and staying healthy. And I will see you again on Saturday next week. Namaste.